General Hamid Gul is a retired Pakistani Army general known for heading the Inter-Service Intelligence, the premier Pakistani intelligence agency after the Soviet and during the Soviet-Afghan War. Hamid Gul served as Director General of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence from 87-89, mainly in the time when Benazir Bhutto was Prime Minister of Pakistan. He was instrumental in the anti-Soviet support of the Mujahideen in the Afghanistan War, 79-89. He, of course, was involved in several of the big conflicts with India as a infantry commander. And I wanted to get him on because even Yahoo ran with the headline yesterday that the head of Pakistani intelligence currently has now come out and said the West is creating fake Taliban al-Qaeda, trying to give them chemical, biological, radiological weapons to then frame Pakistan. So what General Hamid Gul said a few weeks ago here on air is now being said by the government itself. And we have the other news that I just covered. NATO helicopter attacks Pakistani army post. Associated Press. Pakistani military says the helicopters came across the border. They opened up on them, but it's also being reported that the U.S. helicopters may have fired first, claiming they were being fired at from across the border, and that 2 Pakistani army soldiers were injured. And Pakistan says this is of serious escalation. General Gul, what you talked about a few weeks ago is beginning to unfold.
Yes, indeed, Alex. I think things are getting worse now because I think the American generals are showing an aptitude for brinkmanship, and they want to trash President Obama's plan to withdraw if he does wish to withdraw. I think the American people are overwhelmingly now looking at Afghanistan a lost cause, and that they should not spend even a bullet or a single life be lost there. But unfortunately, the generals and their backers there in the Congress as well as in the media, they want to press on and they want to open another front towards Pakistan. I don't know. This is a very critical time for the American policymakers. Now, we know that these Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is being sponsored from across the Durand line from Afghanistan, where RAW, the Indian intelligence, and of course Mossad is also in collusion with them. And under the umbrella of the CIA, they are creating problems for Pakistan. They want to build a case against Pakistan that it is a failing state, and that a failing state which is under threat of increasingly the Taliban ingress, and therefore it must not possess the nuclear weapons. This is something which is going to be very dangerous because it could very easily, if they try to play games with Pakistan and let's say they actually come in for our nuclear assets, then it is going to trigger the Third World War, I'm afraid. I don't wish to go into detail of this, but I can tell you that it will ignite an inferno which will consume the entire region and may even trigger a Third World War, like I said. So this is the height of brinkmanship, and it is very unfair to the American people who want this money, $135 billion a year in Afghanistan. They wanted to redress their imbalances in their economic system, and they are indebted to the tune of about $14.5 trillion. So it's very unfair to the people of Afghanistan, people of Pakistan, and most of all to the people of America, the way they are proceeding about the whole thing.
General Gul, for new radio listeners that just joined us, it is now in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, LA Times, that the core group launching attacks on Gaddafi and financed by British and U.S. intelligence, CIA commandos and MI6 commandos is al-Qaeda. Our agents trained in the United States, the leader of the rebels for 2 decades. Here is Yahoo News and The Nation magazine. Even The Nation's own report, CIA's fake Taliban wrecking Pakistan terror havoc. Here's Yahoo News. CIA has created own Taliban to wreak terror havoc on Pakistan, claims Pakistan paper. And then when I read these articles, it's got the head of the Pakistani intelligence coming out now. And previously I hadn't heard these type of incredible statements. We already knew the truth. It's hidden in plain view, and they caught the CIA guy. Now they're reporting with chemical, biological, and radiological, trying to get it to their al-Qaeda double agent CIA people. But now it appears to be 100% clear. I'm getting chills talking about it. They're getting ready to try to frame Pakistan and launch some type of military attack on you. And the whole fake bin Laden situation, the killing of bin Laden a few weeks ago, is another way to try to frame Pakistan. What do you make of your government now coming out and being more public and seconding what you have said?
Yes, I've been saying that all along, Alex, and on your shows also I've been mentioning this. But now I think the democratic government in Pakistan has come fully on the back of the military institutions. It has passed a resolution, and it must be read carefully because America values democracy, and it is the representative house which has passed a unanimous resolution, and it should not be taken lightly that Pakistan is a pushover. Pakistan is a very important country, very large country, and people of Pakistan are really angered and enraged against their own institution that they are not doing anything. So I think this charade must end now. This playing along of the military and the ISI along with the CIA's all dirty tricks, it has to come to an end, and I think people of Pakistan are going to take account of all these things, and you may find that America's line of supply may be cut off like it was done in the past. For 10 days, one of the routes, only one of the routes, there are two routes which enter Afghanistan, and only one of the routes was blocked for 10 days, and they came because they ran out of the toilet papers and the mineral water and all the others. It's not going to be easy. I don't know why these generals, they are making such huge mistakes. They are being very impetuous about this. This administration, President Obama's administration, is showing enormous weakness. They have got to take a stand against their generals who are adventurous and they want to now go in for Pakistan. It will be a disastrous thing to happen.
General Gul, to be clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm reading this from U.S. papers, but Pakistan did pass a resolution, and your prime minister has said that if helicopters come in with another raid, they're going to basically be shot down. If that happens, then I would imagine that we know the Pentagon is basically trying to start a war with Pakistan, and we have this latest incursion firing on the military base. Can you briefly expand on that? And do you have intel basically to expand on your statement that U.S. generals are trying to continue the wars and trying to basically flee forward and force Obama to continue the wars by trying to stir up trouble?
Exactly. They are provoking this conflict, unfortunately. They want to expand and open another front. They have opened front in Libya, and they have gone into it. All the al-Qaeda members, as you were just mentioning, who were fighting in Iraq, now they are congregating in Libya. So what is this paradox? On the one hand, you are hunting for al-Qaeda. On the other hand, you are supporting al-Qaeda. This is a very strange policy which is being pursued. Same for Pakistan. Now, Pakistan has to be treated either as enemy or friend. Now, this is a strange situation, a very ambivalent situation, where Pakistan is being described now as frenemy. I mean, friend as well as enemy. Now, this can't last very long. I think we are a nation of 180 million people. We are a nuclear power, and I can assure you that if they have any designs against our nuclear assets, then they will be making a very huge miscalculation. They must not play this dangerous game. So these generals are out of the control. They are straining on the leash to be launched against Pakistan, and this is not going to work. I can assure you this will be a very great historic disservice to the people of America.
Well, sir, just a few final questions in the minutes we have left with you.